Roots in the district, for sure. Been from the district and voting in the district my whole life, where he just voted for himself the first time this year in the primary. That's a big difference. Certainly our economic status. I'm living in a one-bedroom condo. He's got properties all over the planet. Self-funding his campaign. I think he's worth about several $100 million. But I would say the biggest difference is our approach. I'm a problem solver. I'm in the Problem Solvers Caucus. He's criticized that caucus. He's more of a party line guy, and I'm more of a bipartisan approach to government. Supporting a livable wage, which we talked about this before. I like using the term livable wage rather than minimum wage. Identifying what that wage is and attaching it to the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, and allowing it to track inflation so the real purchasing power stays the same. I don't think that anybody in this country who is working should be not able to sustain themselves from a food standpoint, from a clothing standpoint, from the basic necessities. So I would support anything that would advance that. Ultimately, moving to a public financing system. I think that money in politics is a huge problem. I was in the FBI when Citizens United, when the decision came down. I believe it was April of 2010, if I'm not mistaken. I was working for then Director Mueller. And my reaction to the case was it was going to lead to more corruption. Having worked in the corruption unit, money is the root of all problems, including especially in politics, leading to corruption. And I think the more we can get that out of it and we'll have more parity and get the influence of special interests out, the better we'll be. I think it's a bad idea. I keep an open mind on literally everything. And myself, Josh Shapiro, has come to the same conclusion. You never discount anything, but I think that this would be a problem on a whole host of fronts. Obviously, the goal with anyone in treatment and recovery is giving them that light at the end of the tunnel. I think with something like that, it poses far too many problems. There would be too many unintended consequences. There's two things that Josh and I had discussed, the PDMP program and the IMD exclusion issue. I think those, if we focus on that, that's really the way to go here. Well, I got endorsed by Mike Bloomberg, Everytown USA, and Gabby Giffords for this very reason. I've been a leader on gun safety. The Problem Solvers Caucus has a whole slate of legislation that starts with universal background checks, gun violence restraining orders, no fly, no buy, repealing the Dickey Amendment to allow NIH funding to go towards gun violence research. There's a whole slate of bills that you can go to the Problem Solvers website. They are the bills we endorsed. It finds that balance between constitutional protection and community safety. They are not mutually exclusive. We can advance both together.